Quick garden update. I have some peppers. Some of them not looking so great. And then 2 tomatoes I planted in there with them. Strawberry plants doing their thing. These are just the ones that only are at the beginning of the season. I really want to order some of the kind that are ever-bearing so that they give 3 or more different harvests a year, but money. And then here's tomato plants. Also not doing great. I'm not impressed with these Brad's purple atomic. Or bleh. Not great. And then the solo cups are growing great out here. The kids were helping me plant tomatoes, and I put some more tomatoes in here with the raspberries since I only have a sad 2 raspberry plants and 3, my bad, 1, 2, 3. And then this is amaranth. This wild amaranth. They call it pig amaranth maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm letting it grow because it's a weed. However, it is edible, especially for some certain bugs like it. And I'm calling it my trap crop. So that way they'll eat that instead of my other plants. I've got some great looking tomatoes in here. This one's not doing great, but the rest of them are okay. My Swiss chard is doing terrific. I literally just pulled 4 large stalks off of that for breakfast at church. This poor thing is my ground cherry, and it has been eaten alive by aphids. Aphids, I can't, oh, there they are. So the aphids are there, and the ants are there with the aphids because the ants actually milk the aphids, sort of. It's kind of cool. Also kind of gross. But they have destroyed this particular plant. These guys look like they're just real thirsty. But I am going to spray everybody off with some soapy water because I just read that soapy water will get rid of aphids. Here is where I planted zucchini seeds, but they were older seeds that they have done nothing. So what we're going to plant there is these new edamame beans. I'm going to use the square foot method for this. I think they're 9 to a square, much like green beans, if I'm recalling correctly, but don't quote me on that. You'll have to do your own research. This is the Brandy Boys. They're doing great. Lots of flowers, no fruit yet. They're looking a little sad down here. I think one of the branches got broken off. And it's hot. It was very hot today, and I worked during the day. So I guess I'm going to have to make sure I get up first thing in the morning and water before I go to work at 7:15. Well, that's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Something is eating my pepper plants, so I need to do more research on that. They've got lots of flowers on them, though, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'll figure out what's eating them. I don't really see anything on there, which is the problem. If anyone has any suggestions of what that might be, I am all ears. Blackberries. I planted 3 tomato plants in there. 1, 2, and then 3. Our blackberries are looking really good. I'm going to get some flowers on it, which I was not anticipating, but here we are. And I did this last night, so this is like a work in progress. Please ignore the mess. Actually, that's my life. Please ignore the mess. These little tiny things are cucamelons. And these are also cucamelons. I just put them out yesterday. That's all I got out of that tray. I'm very disappointed. Hoping something else will come up. However, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. This is the arbor, I guess you would call it, that I've made for the cucamelons to go up. I'm hoping to do more of these and then construct a greenhouse. It might not be the classiest thing, but it'll get the job done. Here are other tomato plants having the same problem. See, their leaves are curled. I was actually listening today on the Millennial Gardener. He's terrific. He said that tomatoes are actually an understory plant, and they don't like a lot of strong sun. But the problem is, in a place where it gets cold pretty easily, you have to balance that with how long our growing season is. So I might be trying to put not a shade cloth over it, but something to diffuse the light somewhat in the hotter months. But they are looking pretty good as far as we got flowers on them. Aren't they pretty? They kind of look like mini sunflowers to me. And then I have some basil down in here hiding. My potatoes, rather, I just mounded yesterday. So they've got dirt on their stems. These guys aren't doing too great. I don't know if it's because this dirt, I don't know where I got it, and I wish I paid attention because it is crummy. It's mostly wood chip, which is very disappointing. And then these guys over here could probably use a mounding of dirt. But I gotta weigh out, that dirt's expensive, so I gotta determine whether it's worth it for a crop of potatoes, which honestly, potatoes are fairly inexpensive, so it may not be worth it, but I probably will because, you know, I'm growing them. I started some green beans here yesterday, and green beans here yesterday. I put 108 beans in the hopes of actually getting green beans because I had planted them earlier and those beans were old and did nothing. So hopefully I will get some green beans out of there. I'm hoping to can up enough for the half of the year. I used a website that tells you how many of each plant you would need to put up for the year depending on your family size and what size jar you're using. Obviously it's a rough estimate, however it was helpful. So I'm just going to rotation plant these guys. Once these are done, I'll pull them out and plant new ones. And that is the garden so far. I got to clean up a lot of detritus. The thunderstorms are supposed to be rolling in. Gosh, I hope so because it has been powerfully humid and dry. Which seems like a contradiction in terms actually, but you better believe it. The ground's been dry, but the air, like you could swim in the air today, I feel like. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this garden tour with me. If this kind of thing is of interest to you, like and subscribe. And remember, do what you can with what you got. Bye.